A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Oh, we should have gotten the holiday edit.
We should have. Dang it.
Good, it's the holiday.
We would have to pay somebody for it, though.
Oh, and we don't do that.
We don't have money. We don't like to do that. I don't like to feed into the capitalist system. Capitalist big dogs over here trying to take all of our money and feed it to CEOs.
So offered it for exposure.
Exposure is what we like to have on the holidays.
Let's start the intro.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hello. This is Welcome to Earth, and I'm your co-full host, Zach.
And I'm your co-full host, Roberto.
He is, too. And what we like to do on this show is talk to interesting folks with interesting strokes. And really, we like to interview them. We like to get at what makes them them. We like to talk about...
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute,
Don't
yeah.
we have a dialogue?
We do. It's the show where we talk to the supernatural, the otherworldly, and sometimes the just plain Christmassy.
Whoa!
Hey!
It's the holiday episode if you're not watching the video recording.
Yeah,
of
we've
this
got
on
little
YouTube.
holiday hats on. I'm not going to say it relates to Santa because he takes the Christ out of Christmas, and we don't appreciate that.
It is the Nutcracker holiday.
That's right. And both of us have a nutcracker right here. Do you think at one point we're going to have a nutcracker off?
Nutcracker off? Yeah, we're gonna crack our own nuts and whoever nuts quicker.
Is this racist? But
Go ahead.
yeah, this is how all the best sentences start. Is this racist? But do you think that has ever been a Russian named that?
Nutcracker?
Nutcracker off.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, yeah, I think 100%. They got
I think
silly
so.
names.
They've got so silly names over there in Russia land.
It's true.
Anyway, let's get this started. This is, of course, where we talk the show where we talk to the supernatural, the otherworldly, and sometimes just plain ordinary. Now, we do have 3 such interesting people today. The first is a holiday bodyguard. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, maybe this is just a regular bodyguard, but he just does it on the holidays? Well, you may be right. I don't know. We haven't talked to him yet. Second, coming up, we've got a cranky little whore. I think that's self-explanatory.
It's holiday themed, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the third and final guest we're going to have on today's show, it's not holiday themed at all, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
I'm sure.
Probably is.
Josh books it and he knows.
He knows what he's doing and he would
knows-
never steer us wrong, would he?
Of course.
Josh?
Yes.
I knew it. All right,
Good
third
projection.
and final guest we're going to have on today's show is Santa's new reindeer. Now, if that's not Christmassy, I don't know what the heck
Got
is.
a new reindeer. Times are changing, man.
Times are changing.
Times are changing.
I bet it's a gay reindeer.
I bet it's not even a reindeer at all. I bet it's a dog.
Yeah, probably. That's probably true.
I don't know. I just threw it, I guess.
All right, let's get to our first guest and see what is at the bottom of what makes a holiday bodyguard a holiday bodyguard. So please, Billy Smart, would you please open up the pantry of guests over there and let out Stony Tinsilvester? Hey, Stony. Wow, you've got a strong jaw.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, have a sit down right over here. Well, that's actually Roberto's chair. I would appreciate it. Well, are you comfortable where you are?
I'm comfortable,
You are sitting on top of our co-full host.
He seems pretty used to it.
That's
Yeah, this shouldn't be a problem. It's kind of like I'm Santa and he's the kid.
does that make you feel like,
I do not want to purport that I am anything close to what makes the holidays cheerful, all right?
I don't think anybody had suggested that.
All right, well, I didn't want to pretend to be anything close to Santa Claus or
Nope.
Santa's elf or even a child on Santa's lap.
Oh, okay.
My job is not to make the holiday cheerful. My job is to make sure everybody stays safe.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's nice. It's almost like you're protecting the Christmas cheer. You're not creating the Christmas cheer, but you're protecting it. You're keeping it safe and secure from terrorists.
Some would and you have no idea the terror that I have prevented
Oh,
at some of our nation's most beautiful malls.
yeah? Which is the most beautiful mall? First, and then what terror did you prevent there?
The most beautiful mall, of course, is the Mall of America. It's the streets that our everyday citizens walk along. It is the honor and the liberty that this country allows everybody. All right? This is the Mall of
That's so
America.
patriotic.
It's the most beautiful. Yes, of course. I was a soldier before I was a holiday bodyguard.
What discipline of soldier did you partake in?
I was a super soldier.
You were a super soldier?
I was a super soldier, one of them.
Wait, were you Captain America?
No, that pretty boy. No, I was one of the failed subjects before his serum went through. Of
Like,
course.
what's his face that was living in Baltimore that we saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Did he have a name in the show?
I'm not entirely sure. Falcon is a fictional character, of course.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you are a failed super soldier experiment, and Captain America is real and was the successful version of that.
That is
But
correct.
Falcon is just a pretendy thing.
They made him up to make the storyline make a little bit more sense, you know.
Yeah, he did fill in a lot of logic holes with the story.
Well, they needed somebody to fly, you know. Back when I was a super soldier, there were no flying. They're not flying allowed, all right? Because
Oh, I see.
back then, birds were also our enemy, all right? We didn't.
Wait, what year was this?
This was our Lord's year of 1969.
69? Nice.
Yes, that is true. And what they don't know is because Captain America eventually went back in time. He went back in time and delivered the proper serum to himself, to that lab. So they didn't perfect it until 1971.
Okay, but was this during the war against birds?
No. We just couldn't be sure, you know.
What are you talking about?
We couldn't be
Stony?
sure. We could not be sure whether or not birds were our enemy or not. Nobody had spoken to them or got their side on the Cold War.
Okay,
right?
so it's at least post-Cold War because you weren't sure where they landed on that politically.
Literally. We don't know where they land literally.
Oh, on which side of the Iron Curtain?
Exactly. So there were no flying soldiers allowed. I was a super soldier. They perfected every part of it except for the anti-aging. Of course, I aged naturally, which they thought was totally useless.
Oh, I was going to say, but you look really good. Have you had work done?
I've had a lot of work done. I keep my face at the age of 56, but of course I'm much older than that.
I was going to say you must be much older than that. And I will say that you have a very strong jaw, wide shoulders, burly looking man, but your skin is starting to sag in odd places on your body itself, like your nipples are drooping down over the very tough pecs underneath.
Well, I did had to. It was warm in the building, and I wore my Christmas what's it called, wife beater. And so of course my nipples stick out on either side. Of that.
Christmas wife beater?
Well,
what does it look like? Does it have lights?
It does have lights. You want me to turn them on?
Yes.
Oh, they don't. I didn't charge them up. They have to overnight. I have to sit on a recliner in my living room and charge my shirt.
Yeah, I didn't
before my shift starts.
I didn't see any lights show, but your nipples did become very erect right when you pressed the button.
Well, it gave me a little shock when I.
That'll be it. That'll be it. Yeah.
But I do. I am a Christmas bodyguard. I protect the Santa Clauses in America's best malls.
Oh, okay. You said you protected Santa Clauses. I was thinking, is there more than one real Santa Claus? But these are the fake ones.
These are not the real Santa Claus.
Okay.
No, of course. I was. The Santa Claus could, of course, protect himself. We had a short time in about 1972. It was 3 years after I received my injection. We did have to make an embassy meeting with the North Pole to see where they stood on the whole Iron Curtain issue. But of course, nobody could find him because we went to the top of the planet, but of course we forgot that the planet is tilted on its side. So we went to the wrong place. And we ran out of funding, so we.
Hang on that. Well, what was the funding going toward? Because it seems like it wasn't GPS. Because we do actually have a very firm understanding.
GPS was not around at this time
of how to navigate according to longitude and latitude.
Well, yes, the budget went entirely into the super soldier serum. It went into work getting done on me and my fellow soldiers.
Yeah,
and snack packages.
Why didn't you hire a Spanish conquistador? Because we
didn't know where they stood on that.
weren't sure where they stood either.
Issue. We couldn't be sure. We could only trust our own men, and of course, wildlife that stayed on the ground.
How do you feel about penguins?
I'm not entirely sure whether or not penguins are friendly or not. This is separate from, of course, the Cold War is over, and this is why I'm simply a security guard at this point, but I still have never met a penguin that I liked. The only penguins I've ever killed, I strangled, so I wasn't able to.
You didn't get a lot of
feel them out later. Of course,
detail.
The lab, the boys at the lab took the bodies, and after the fact, you could ask the boys at the lab. But
okay, so we got to the bottom of why exactly we were warring against the birds.
Well, we were not warring against them. We
just weren't sure.
We could not take to the air because we couldn't trust them.
Of course, and that makes perfect sense. So now let's get back to super soldier stuff?
No.
And okay, we're done with that.
It's a past life of mine. I just
let's
setting
not
up
get into
who I was before I reached this point. A
So
lot
now
of people think I'm past my prime, but
No, with nipples like yours?
Thank you very much. My wife doesn't seem to think so. She asks me to sleep on my stomach because while we're sleeping together and I'm on my chest, she says that my nipples will tickle her ear. And during the night, she can't sleep properly. So I've been a belly sleeper for the last 25 years.
Okay. Do you think in your course of protecting Santa Clauses across the malls of America, do you think that you ever run into a problem with your nipples getting in the way?
No,
You've never trodden on your nipples?
They're not that long. Are you? All right. I mean, I'm also wearing clothes when I'm on the job. Do
you wear a brassiere to keep them contained?
I don't often think about my nip. I honestly, at this point, I'm sorry that I came into this interview wearing my wife beater because my nipples are often not something that people know about and not something that come up often in my life other than at home. So,
I would like you to wear whatever you'd like to wear. Although I will say I'm wearing a nice festive sweater right now, and I'm curious why you would like to go out in the cold wearing just a festive wife beater.
No, I told you, I took my clothes off. It was warm in the building. I'm surprised you're wearing this sweater. I'm a warm-bodied man. But again, my nipples don't come up often.
They came up when you pressed that button, though.
Well, it's because I shocked myself. It's a normal thing. Listen, I just wear I wear my bulletproof vest. I wear they have me wear a green button up over top of that.
Can I ask you a very inappropriate question? But
oh boy,
did the bulletproof vest? Well, it's not that bad. But have you seen the?
You're not asking me about my job. You just want to know.
Well, this is an aspect of your job. Though, have you seen the Batman movie where I think it was George Clooney's where he had nipples on the bat suit?
Oh yeah. That was actually when we were. During my stint as a super soldier for the American military, they were offered us various suit designs, one of which had those extended nipples, and I was a fan because I thought aerodynamics might be an issue in the future, and also it's a weapon at times. Or I'll be honest, we were
trying to seduce people.
I was not seduce people. No, I was courting my wife for a good 30 years before she decided to marry me. But
wow, she didn't seem like she liked you a whole lot.
Oh no, she didn't. I wasn't allowed a relationship with anybody
by law.
By law? Oh no, of course not, because it was a weakness.
No,
if the enemy side knew that we had people in our lives that we cared about, they could use that against us, and so we were kept against starting a family of any sort. Haven't
you read Harry Potter?
No.
Oh, well, the central message of that story is that love conquers all.
Well, not during the Cold War, let me tell you. We tried to love them dearly.
You tried to kill them with kindness.
We tried to kill every soldier first with kindness.
You guys were capturing enemy soldiers and being really nice to them?
We were buying them gifts.
Yeah.
Not even during the holidays. We would show up.
That's so nice.
We would, when we knew we would intercept intelligence that they were going to try to raid a particular building.
Yeah.
Of course, we'd clear out civilians. We'd make sure things were safe first, and then we'd set up a surprise party.
Aww.
So the soldiers would bust in the building. They'd be like, clear, and then we'd hop out behind the chairs and say, surprise.
Yeah.
And first they started shooting, but of course we had our bulletproof vests on, and we were super soldiers, so we were batting them out of the way, and we were saying, no, we love you guys. We're happy to see you. We know how hard you work, and when they didn't die on the spot, then we had to strangle them.
Oh, that's such a shame. But it seemed like up until that point, you guys might have gotten along famously. Did you ask them?
I couldn't understand a word they said.
Is it because they were Russian?
Yes.
Oh. Did you guys ever take any precautions against that sort of communication barrier? Like, did you hire a translocator or anyone download Duolingo?
Well, no, because we were, it was the belief of the U.S. that love and kindness was the... It didn't need transcended language, so we decided instead of budget was very small at this time.
That seems foolish, in my opinion.
Well, we thought that being kind to these soldiers was better than
almost sounded like you meant to say savages.
Them. Yeah, well, at the time I was a different man back then, and I probably would have thought so.
Yeah,
but no, we were being very sweet. I once actually found a soldier who was sick and dying in a trench, and I read him a story. And then I shot him in the head.
Okay, but the reading of the story, that part,
That was my first
it
attempt to
kind
kill
of,
him.
but it only kind of makes sense because you are probably, I would guess, reading it in English. And he
Yes.
won't understand it because he only understands Russian.
It was a pop-up book, so most of the book,
Okay,
the
so
book
you-
was doing the work for
You
me.
were just pointing at it and going, oh,
You know,
Yeah.
am I right?
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Da, I knew da.
But as soon as he didn't understand and became a little upset, I guess, you decided to strangle him.
Well, no, the reading the book was my first attempt to kill the man. Of course, killing.
Oh,
him.
yeah, I forgot that was the
It
eventual
was
goal.
The point was we were attempting to kill them with kindness because that was the humane approach according to the bylaws.
And did it go any way? Did it at least injure them when you were super kind?
It only worked once, and that was our attempt. At one point, there were fighter jets flying above our location, and so we had one of our jets scramble. We had them do some sky art. We drew. We had the plane fly around, and then the trail that they left. It was just a smiley face, and it was winking and pointing towards them.
Yeah.
And when that did not kill them at first, but then they were so overjoyed at the love that they were seeing
That they stubbed their toes?
No, he crashed right into a mountain.
Oh.
So that was the first occurrence of killing them with kindness.
Okay, and that was a
eventually
success story.
And that is currently a use by the U.S. military that they currently use today.
So is that what we're doing against our continued war on terrorism?
Yeah.
Whenever we find a terrorist, we root them out, and then we're real nice to them.
Common misconception that chemtrails aren't actually chemtrails. They're attempts to kill citizens with kindness in the skies.
Oh, and it's so nice, and it's so sweet and so kind and so joyful. It becomes like a mistranslation to frogs, who still take the archaic version of the word gay,
Frogs?
and the chemtrails turn them gay.
No.
Oh, that's a misconception too?
That has absolutely nothing to do with.
Well, what turns the frogs gay?
Frogs actually are gay from birth.
All frogs are gay?
Well, a lot of frogs are hermaphrodites. This is whatever terminology intersex they use nowadays. Yes, frogs are able to inseminate them. Certain types of frogs this is just science. They're able to inseminate themselves.
Okay. Well, we're getting to the bottom of something very interesting now.
We haven't talked about my job or
what are you
we
again?
talked about my nipples and the super soldier.
Oh, I wanted to know if your bulletproof vest had nipples on it. That's where I was going with that.
No.
Okay. So tell me about your job as a protector of Santa Claus and Christmas spirit.
Protecting most Santas. I will say that they don't often get attacked, hardly ever. In fact, there was once a child that maybe ran up too fast towards Santa. He was excited to see him, and he was cutting the line, so I kicked him straight in the neck.
Well, you didn't have to kick me in the leg to demonstrate that. That hurt.
I apologize for that. Well, you can follow me on TikTok.
What, you're on TikTok?
At Stony Tinsilvester. Yep, I make security videos of me taking down children.
Wait, you take children down?
Yeah, we could have gotten into this, couldn't we?
Oh, go on.
Well, it's not the pride of my work, but often it needs to happen because, of course, the insurance policies on these mall Santas is more expensive than the mall can afford at times. So they value the safety of Santa more than they value the children. So at times we've had biters, we've had kids get mad or find out that the Santa's not real, and
wait,
hit
what?
him a couple times, and
Children listen to our show, by the way.
yeah, he's not real, and so I'll have to put these children's in a chokehold sometimes, and that's the majority of what I get into on my TikTok channel is with the direction you use and the devices they use to take down kids is very different than an average adult, of course. So it's the techniques that I'm teaching adults is how to take down children without hurting them too much.
Okay, but I still don't really understand.
I did put in a wheelchair.
Yeah. So you've got biters, you've got people who are upset that Santa's not giving them what they want, or that he's not, according to this Stony fella, that he's not real. Now, that sounds ridiculous to me. Of course, I know Santa is real. We've met him. We've met him on this show. But so maybe that's something you didn't know.
The Santas that are in the mall are not the real Santa.
Okay, but let me.
And children should know that. It's a
does
shame
it really
that we
require
lie.
taking them down?
Well, yes, because we cannot afford for the insurance policy. If we can't afford the Santas to get hurt at all. We can't. But they can afford for the children to get hurt because their insurance policies are very, very cheap. We just can't afford for the premiums to go up on the mall Santas. So it's my job to take these kids down. And I've had to hurt adults. I've had to hurt women.
Hurt or hurt?
Both. At times when the lines get too rowdy, I have to sick my dogs on the group.
Good Lord, you've got dogs there?
We call that hurting the crowd, but of course it just means that my dogs have free range on adults and children.
And do you train these dogs to actually tear people apart?
I don't train the dogs, but I do have a strict. I get final say on whether or not the dogs are fit for battle.
Battle.
Yes.
But that's the way you phrase it. It just seems like you're going in here hoping to hurt people.
Oh, I never hoped it. Listen, I love my job more than anything, and sometimes my job includes the safety of the small Santas.
Small Santas.
Small Santas are what I work with predominantly.
Is that right?
Which is why I have to protect them, because they cannot protect themselves. I work with men who are under 5'1".
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I can see how maybe children can get the better of those.
Of course. That's why Santas. I have to hurt these kids.
Yeah, hurt and heard. So have you ever tried, sorry to bring it back to your previous life, but have you ever tried killing or hurting or maiming these kids with kindness? Punishing the adults with kindness.
At times I've attempted to, say nice things to them, but they're in such a cheerful mood already. It's hard to exceed that point.
They seem like they're already inured to that type of behavior.
And the U.S. government kind of keeps the option to kill with kindness on the down low. They try to keep that hushed. It's sort of a premium technology.
But it's not against the Geneva Convention.
Fun fact. That whoever was in office when that was signed, the president of the U.S. that was in the office when the Geneva Convention was signed, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm not a part of the government anymore, and I can say this freely. They misspelled their name when signing.
Oh, so it's not binding.
It's not binding.
Oh my God, I had no idea. So like, we can spread mustard gas over people. We could do anything. Everything is permissible.
It's permissible. It's just expensive. Mustard has gone up in price.
That's not a problem for the United States military.
They don't tell you this. The budget goes a lot to getting work done on the soldiers' faces. There's very little of the billions of dollars that go into the U.S. military. All of that money, a good several $1 billion of it goes to plastic surgery. Another billion or so goes to snack packages. And finally, GPS. After our failed mission, a lot of that goes into the budget for going to the right place. Because we've kicked down a lot of doors.
Yeah. With kindness.
No, with our feet.
Oh, okay.
And hurt people that we did not intend to.
Yeah.
We're sorry about that. So now we invest a lot in... They'll go to Google Maps and print out the directions on pieces of paper. Paper costs a lot.
I'm sorry, pieces of
paper.
Can you expound on that? What is this?
You want me to tell you about paper? You want me to tell you what?
Yeah, I'd love to know what it is.
What's going on here?
Tell me of the things of your time.
Is this a different gotcha that we have? Is this something else?
If it is, it's a gotcha on me.
I'm going to explain paper, and you're going to be like, "Oh, he's wrong in some direction." What?
No,
Were you just stupid? Are you just like
Look, I'd prefer not to phrase it that way, but I don't know what paper is, and I'm trying to get you to tell me. And the fact is, right now you're getting me a little steamed. Would you tell me what paper is before I get completely steamed?
I don't even.
Before I get completely steamed, would you go ahead and tell me what paper is?
It's like a wood.
Oh, I'm getting steamed now.
Like a wood particulate.
Oh, I'm getting steamed now. I'm getting so steamed.
What? Why? Paper's made of wood. It's flat. It's what you write on. What more do you want?
Oh, you write on it. So it's like an iPad that is made of trees. This is interesting.
This is why I don't talk to people.
Oh, Stony, there's no reason to get steamed.
This is why I stick to my post and I just hurt kids. This is all.
Stony, there's no reason to get steamed. All right, do you mind sticking around for a bit?
No, I'll be leaving.
Okay, well, it's been nice talking to you. Thank you for listening, everybody. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we are not going to have any more with Stony Tinsilvester, and we will be meeting with our second guest, a cranky little whore. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Welcome to Earth.
Cranky little what?
Cranky little whore.
That's what you have on after me.
I'm so steamed.